Shirts getting smaller, appetite growing dimmer. It's a constant battle between trying to eat enough food, trying to go to bed on time, trying to wake up on time so that I can start eating food, so that I can stop eating food before my bedtime. You know, it's a balancing act that so far has not found its equilibrium, but does not mean that we are not making progress. It just means that our progress is very non-linear. It's what you should expect yourself from tracking your calories and weight and so forth. Um, when you start doing so, you'll see a upwards kind of graph if you're trying to gain, and if you're trying to lose, you'll see a lowering graph. But the idea is that it's not always going to be a line, right? It's going to be you go up, you go down, you go up, you go down, you go up, you go down, and sometimes you go up, up, down, down, up, down, up, down, up, up, so forth and so forth. The idea is that you don't have a you're not going to always see progress every time you step on the scale, which means that maybe you shouldn't be stepping on the scale every day. It means that maybe you should, if it's something that can trigger, a sense of defeat or a sense of I'm not making progress, or oh, I took a step back. If you're not able to put things into a paradigm of, oh, I might have drank some more, a little bit more water yesterday. Oh, I might have done this yesterday. Oh, I might do this differently today. And the idea is, if you can't handle the numbers, then don't record them as often. You know, just know that they are bouncing. Like, it's not going to stay the same every day unless you're some sort of perfectionist that's eating calories weighed out to the very T. The liquid that you're ingesting is weighed out. But I mean, even then, I mean, there can be extraneous circumstances like stress, like you got woken up by a bird at 6 in the morning and it wouldn't stop screaming in your window and you didn't get enough sleep. There's just so many different things that can happen that you need to just kind of remember that not every day is going to be perfect. Not every day is going to be a day of progress, but you're still there. You're still showing up and you're still doing the thing. If you can do that, then screw the numbers. It's more or less about how you feel and how you look, right? Because that's your goals. I mean, the goal is to, for me, look better, feel better, and maybe one day compete. Maybe, like that's just the. Well, I mean, I don't want to say maybe, since I've just started paying for training and coaching. Like, I want to be more. This is what I want to do. You know what I mean? This is a thing I want to accomplish at some point, and I'm going to do so. So I'm going to compete on the stage at some point. I just don't know when, and it's probably going to be years from now once I've actually done the work and gotten the gains. Because I mean, I've done about a year and change, but it hasn't been a perfect year and change. And, there's room for improvement everywhere. So we're gonna see how that goes. We're gonna see how the competing goes. But to track back, just remember that your progress is going to be non-linear. That you're going to have setbacks and leaps forward. And celebrate the leaps and try to mitigate the rest. And if it does bother you, don't step on the scale, but like once a week. If you do that, there's a good chance, if you're following your program, you're following what your coach tells you, or you're doing what you told you yourself that you were going to do, you will see weekly changes, weekly and monthly changes. So that's what you're looking for. You're not looking for fast results. You're not looking for the quick dopamine rush. That doesn't come here. All right, that doesn't start until you start getting real good pumps. That's that immediate dopamine rush. But real progress doesn't come with that. Like you're going to get delayed gratification, but the the benefit of delayed gratification is you don't just experience, the goal being met. You get to live in the results of your efforts. You get to live the life you've decided to create. Once you've hit your goal, it's not a dopamine rush that only lasts for as long as you do the activity. For as long as you do the activity, it's not like a momentary dopamine rush. It's a dopamine rush that you get every time you look in a mirror. It's a dopamine rush you get every time somebody tells you, "Oh, you're looking bigger than last time." "Oh, your pump's looking crazy." "Oh, the attention that you get." I can even relate it back to getting a mustache. The the mustache. You know, growing this out and having it nice, and when I trim this up, even when I don't trim this up, I get a lot of compliments on my mustache. And every time I walk past a mirror and I do a little maneuvering of the lip caterpillar, it's a fun time. So when you make physical changes that result in compliments, or a genuine feeling of like satisfaction or contentedness in what you've created, that's a rush that doesn't go away instantaneously. That's a lasting feeling of accomplishment. So I highly encourage you that if you're on a path at the very beginning of your journey and you're just starting to do something like tracking calories or tracking your workout routines, going into progressive overload, etc., 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 I highly suggest that you stick with it and just do the year, do the 2 years. It's not going to be, may not be this month, it might not be next year, it might be 5 years from now that you get to see the results of your actions. But, you know, 5 years down the road, you're going to be thankful for it. It's something that I didn't learn until later in life. Um, so if you're younger, internalize that. I mean, just at the end of the day, you're just turning 18, or just getting into your adult years. Put down the phones, put down the distractions, laser focus for a few years, and you're gonna thank yourself for it, and you're gonna be less reliant on momentary dopamine or oxytocin, serotonin rushes. You're gonna be living in it. So remember that today is a weird, new, exciting day of lifting. So we are not doing what we have been doing for the past year and a half. We are not doing a pure bodybuilding split. We are officially encroaching into the territory of meathead style stuff, right? Is this on? Yes, thank God. But meathead style training where we're doing some, deadlifting, we're doing flat bench again, we're doing we're doing a bunch of stuff. We're getting back. We're going towards a more power building type split where we're hitting upper and lower, and then we're going to be going for full body days for a week, and then going back to our upper lower, and then full body days, then upper and lower, which is going to be very interesting. I'm not sure how I'm going to deal with it. I'm not sure how it's going to feel. I've never done it, so I'm not going to put any bias on it. I'm not going to say that, oh, I'm not looking forward to this, or I'm not looking forward to that, or I'm thinking this is going to be great, or I'm thinking that's going to be great. I'm going into it with a neutral, I want to know how this turns out kind of feel, kind of deal. Like, I know that if I keep on my calories, if I keep on my diet, that I'm going to continue making the gains that I want to make. That's 80% of the battle. So as long as I'm in the gym, working out, pushing weight, going heavy, and progressively overloading every week, which is still happening, which is still part of this program, that I'll still gain size. Like, that's a given. But I'm very curious as to what kind of size I'm going to be gaining as a result, because I want to be aesthetic. I want to be physique. I want to be something that eventually can compete. But the the idea behind bodybuilders, or powerlifters rather, is usually you see them as thick boys, thick girls, thick humans, which I guess is kind of like what I need to bridge the gap of right now, because I'm pretty happy with like what I'm getting aesthetically, but I need more size. Like, that's just, at the end of the day, I'm not going to be able to win anything if I don't have the size to support, you know, whatever I'm competing in. So that's the idea. Is I need to get bigger. I just need to get bigger. And if this program helps to do that, helps to beef me up a bit before, really chiseling everything into where it needs to be, then I'm all for it. I am all for it. So, okay. Well, as much as I'd love to continue talking about it, let's go ahead and try and be about it. And I will see you at the gym as soon as I get there, which I'm maybe about 3 lights away. So, this is Jason, signing off. let's get on with it. So, what did we experience today? So, we we did deadlifts for the first time. I think that was a fantastic experience. Um, I've never done deadlifts before. I've done exactly, I think, two deadlifts in my original gym in Sacramento. So, literally, only in Sacramento did I touch a deadlift, and it was only because I was bored. Like I was literally just kind of just feeling out the gym, just kind of feeling it out. I went to go do a deadlift with the bar and the 25s that were in the gym at the time. And I don't know if I was doing it right. I don't know if it was correct. I don't know anything about it because it's so long ago. And second of all, it was just an absent-minded thing that I had done. So this is, in reality, the first time that I'm touching genuine deadlifts. I've done RDLs, I've done variations, stiff leg, you know, different things. But I loved it. What else can I say? I absolutely love doing deadlifts. The What I understand is that they can be a strain on your back, and that they're a very easy exercise to get injured through. So what I'm doing is I'm trying not to go crazy on the weights. I'm trying to keep it within a reasonable RPE, and then I'm gradually increasing. Don't think that I'm going to go for 1 rep maxes. I really don't. I think I'm going to try to stick in the realm of maybe 2 rep maxes or 3 rep maxes. I really don't want to throw my back out or really, fuck things up. So I'm trying not to try to be smart. That's really what I'm trying to say. I'm trying to be smart with how I'm approaching the concept. So, that being said, I also did some pause squats, which you are most likely already aware of, and some hip thrusts, some lying leg curls, calf extension. I think that's it. Calf extensions after. Can I even remember everything I did? Yeah, I think it was just hip thrusts, lying leg curls, and calf raises that ended it. And I had to come back actually for those. You may not be able to tell by the video, but I had to actually go back to the gym because I completely forgotten that I had a lesson today, a piano lesson. So, in fact, it was supposed to be a make-up drum lesson, but the student takes piano and drums, and so I got them mixed up. And either way, they got a piano lesson. um, which honestly, that's as much as I love drums, as much as I think it's a great instrument to learn, I think it's a fun instrument to learn. I think that kids should enjoy it potentially more than piano. I think that he enjoys piano more than drums because he has like a volume thing. Like if it's too loud, he doesn't like it. He doesn't like hitting the cymbals. He doesn't like taking the pads off of the drums. He likes everything to be kind of quiet. So the drums, while he's very good at them and understands patterns and just gets everything like that, 5 years old, 5 years old, getting everything like that. He also, I think, is more comfortable on the piano pushing his boundaries, like pushing the things that he's going to do because he doesn't think that it's going to be too loud. Like he can play a forte loudness on the piano and it not be ear ripping. So that's a little bit of a tangent there. So I had to come back from that lesson and finish out my exercises. So I had done the deadlifts and squats, and then remembered, left for like 45 minutes, actually ate my meal, post meal, with all my chicken and carbs and so forth. And then I went back to the gym. Now I'm going to eat another post workout meal, which I think, I mean, I would fathom to guess, based on things I've heard from OG bodybuilders, it may not be the worst, if not maybe even beneficial, to have split it up like this occasionally, where you split up half of the workout into the morning, feed, workout again in the afternoon, refeed again. I think that there maybe is just my mind kind of scrambling for a good explanation here, but you may benefit from two anabolic windows during the day, because the whole idea is that before and after your workout, or no, sorry, the hour or hour and a half after your workout, you're in an anabolic state. You need to feed your body proteins and stuff like that so that it can benefit from it the most. But after that time period, your muscle protein synthesis or whatever, all the things that contribute to growing muscle decrease. So if you work out twice during the day, it would serve to potentially say that there would be two windows of anabolic muscle growth. That could be potentially true. I do not know, but we're going to say that that is an effect for today. Because if you think about it, if your brain believes something, there is a strong force behind belief. There's a strong force behind doing something that you think is right and effective, and it being right and effective because you think so. You see results because you expected results. That's a it's a concept that may not apply across the board, but I think is a important aspect to keep in mind, is that placebo does exist. So, you know, and anomalies exist. Shout out The Anomaly on YouTube. Go check that freaking freak out. That guy is a monster. Absolute goals. But that being said, you know, I came back, finished out the workout, and honestly, I think that it was a 7 on the RPE for today, because I think, if I'm thinking about it correctly, the the idea is that I'm going to increase my exertion over the next, like, what, 5 weeks, and each time I come back to the gym, I'm going to be hitting a new RPE. So I'm going to be going for like 80 or 80%, like 8 RPE next week. 9 R sorry. So here's the thing. Here's the thing about my RPE, right? I'm not going to be hitting this exercise split again until 2 weeks from now. So next week is a completely different split, and then I go back to this one, back to the other, back to this one. So there's going to be 3 weeks before my deload in which I can increase the RPE for these specific days. So I want to increase by 1 RPE every week. I want to go from 70 to 80 to 90, right? Now, after my deload period, I'll have another week of like 95 the next week, and then I'm going to be going for my 100% to 105% RPE, or just max effort, max intensity, go to failure, all the good concepts and jazz that we know affects muscle growth. So that's kind of the concept, but the idea is that we are pushing me in a whole different way. I'm enjoying it so far. First day, can't say, but it has been a good day of new movements. They felt good. They felt natural. I did get a few pointers here and there to increase my uh, the effectiveness of certain movements, such as not going as deep on the pause squats because when my butt winks, I transfer a lot of load onto my back. So the idea is not to stress out the back, it's to stress out the quads. So quads and hams on a standard squat. So that's kind of the idea there. I'm working on just going 90 degrees parallel to the floor, kind of dealing, not 90 degrees, but parallel to the floor. And then aside from that, and there's just a few things here and there. So uh, I'm approaching my destination. So aside from everything that I've already said, you guys have a wonderful, wonderful rest of your week. Enjoy the uh, warm weather because tomorrow it gets cold, rainy, disgusting. So, yeah, here's Jason.